Brianna?
All right, Ryan Nobles in West Palm Beach, thank you. As Republican criticism of the Russia investigation grows louder, a GOP congressman is calling for a, quote, purge at both the FBI and the Justice Department. Congressman Francis Rooney of Florida denies that he's trying to undermine the agencies.
I don't want to discredit them. I would like to see the directors of those agencies purge it and say, look, we've got a lot of great agents, a lot of great lawyers here. Those are the people that I want the American people to see and know the good work's being done, not these people who are kind of the deep state.
Congressman Rooney is joining us now live from Naples, Florida. Congressman, you say there, and first off, thank you so much for being with us during this holiday week. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of people are spending time with their families, and we're so glad that you're spending some time with us. But you say you're not trying to discredit the FBI or the Justice Department. I want to talk to you about why you have criticism of them. But first, are you sure you want to be throwing a word like purge around?
Well, it might be a pretty strong word. I'm not maybe the most nuanced political person in the world coming from a career in business, but I'm pretty frustrated that all the things that have come out by the Strozik and Orr and what may or may not have taken place in Deputy Generals
let me
McCabe,
stop you there.
You know?
Mueller removed Strzok. Orr was demoted. I mean, so what's the evidence? What's the evidence then the bias has impacted this investigation when the very data points you're putting there actually action has been taken against those individuals?
As an American citizen, I'm nervous and discontent that people would have those kinds of lack of impartiality and bad animus as displayed in those emails, and that they would have gone so far as to try to possibly use that dossier to discredit the campaign. I think that's going beyond just having political views, and I hold the FBI and the Department of Justice in very high esteem.
Where's the evidence that bias has infiltrated this investigation? Do you have some knowledge we don't have? Because we're not seeing that.
No, I don't. I'm not saying it necessarily influenced the investigation, but they certainly were trying to work to impede Donald Trump. That's what the guy said in those emails. And I just don't know that someone in the FBI and the DOJ ought to be doing that kind of stuff with all the power and authority they have over American citizens.
That was your takeaway from the emails. I mean, are you quoting the emails?
Ma'am. Yeah, I read the articles, probably the same ones you have, where they talked about having the insurance against the election of Donald Trump, and we have to stop him at all cost. And what was referred to, some conversation that was referred to in Deputy Attorney General McCabe's office. I wonder what that was all about. I hope that the House Oversight Committee can get to the bottom of it.
But we don't know what that was all about, and we don't have evidence at this point, right, that this has infiltrated why, if there's no evidence that this has infiltrated this investigation, would you be calling for a purge, which is a word that, an action that is more closely associated with authoritarian governments than democratic ones like the one you're a part of?
Well, I think if you've got 2% bad apples like this Strozik guy and Orr, I think it's incumbent to make sure
but again,
you know who they all are and get rid of them.
One was removed, one was demoted.
Yeah. He's demoted, but he still has a lot of authority in the other job that he has, and he's still just as lacks impartiality and is very aggressive in his views.
But there's no evidence that has impacted the work.
We don't know what that guy might have been able to impact in his great amount of authority he has as an FBI agent. I worry about people that have authority over American citizens' lives saying the kind of things he put in that email.
Do you worry about maligning the agency as a whole when we're talking about the men and women who are working very hard to keep Americans like you, like me, safe? We're talking about the organization that foiled a terrorist attack, a terrorist plot recently in San Francisco. Do you worry about the effects of that?
Well, what I worry about is the debilitating impact of people like Strozik and possibly McCabe on the institution itself and on the importance that institution has in our country.
What do you think Republicans would have said if, rewind to the Obama administration, if Democrats were going after the FBI the way you and some of your GOP colleagues have been going after the FBI and the DOJ? It seems that there would have been tremendous outrage on the part of your party.
I would hope that we wouldn't have been doing what these people were doing with the dossier and that kind of stuff. I think it's very unsettling to me.
What are you saying they're doing with the dossier?
Well, I hope we get to the bottom of it. There have been articles written questioning whether or not that dossier was used for some purpose by the Department of Justice, and I'm not going to speculate what that might have been, but I think that we need to have some of those people testify to get to the bottom of it.
Well, the sweeping conclusion of the dossier, which is in the first paragraph, which is that Russia mounted a large systematic effort to meddle with the election, has been proven. I mean, that's been proven independently. The DNI said that was the case in January of last year, not privately, but very publicly in a report that can be Googled. I mean, there are parts of the dossier that have not been verified, but the overarching conclusion of it is very much true and has been backed up by the entire intelligence community.
Right. I don't think anybody disagrees that the Russians tried through digital ads and things like that and counter intel propaganda to influence our election and the climate in the United States, but I don't think they succeeded.
Do you trust Robert Mueller, the special counsel?
Yeah, basically I do. The guy's reputation is impeccable, and that's why it's so disheartening to see that he picked a team that is 12-to-1 ratio of contributions to Hillary Clinton and Democrats versus Republicans. I would have thought he could have at least found a few more Republicans and have it more balanced.
Where's the, and I cannot fact check you on that donation breakdown. I just want to make that clear right now. I don't have the facts in front of me on that. But where is the evidence that you think his team is not being impartial when you look at the fact that as soon as he found out there were text messages between Peter Strzok and an FBI attorney that, he pushed this guy off the investigation? Where's the evidence that there is this impartiality that is affecting the investigation?
I think it's great that he pushed that guy off the investigation. I think they probably ought to push him right out the door.
But you said you were worried, obviously, that this is not an impartial investigation, even if Robert Mueller you trust. Where's the evidence that this has somehow been compromised by individuals' politics?
Well, I think that's what the committee needs to get to the bottom of. They need to get to the bottom of why did that Orr guy go meet with the Fusion GPS person about the dossier? What were they trying to accomplish there?
But who met with the Fusion GPS people?
Bruce Orr. His wife worked for him.
Who's been demoted.
Yeah, he's still working over there, though.
He's not a part of this. He's not a part of this, though. We're talking about the Russia investigation.
No, I'm glad they're off the investigation, but what other kind of damage might they do sometime if they are those kind of people that are so focused on what the ends that they want to accomplish are that they'll use any means to get to what they want. But
and actually, someone just fact-checked and got in my ear. 9 of the 15 lawyers on Mueller's team gave to Democrats. So I just want to put that out there. You'd said a certain number when it came to dollar amounts. That is publicly known.
When we checked the contributions, it was like 60. Don't hold me to the exact number, but it was around 67,000 to about 4,000.
You're talking not okay, but just to be clear. We're talking about individuals. You're putting it in a dollar figure, which inflates it and makes it seem as if it's like the vast majority, but actually there's 15 members of the team of the lawyers, and this is just the lawyers' side, just so we're clear on that. I just want to be clear because, we need to be
we should take a look at
the
entire, yeah. That's a good point. We should take a look at the totality of all the paralegals and FBI people and investigators and find out exactly how many people as well as dollars. That's a point well taken.
And why do you want to do that?
Well, I would just if you're going to make
because
sure
you don't
we
trust,
see
you don't trust the investigation. You don't trust the team.
I have a little bit of concern when I saw those emails, when I see that this Ree lady worked for Eric Holder and the Clinton Foundation, when I see the meeting in Director McCabe's office talking about the dossier, that kind of makes me nervous. I hope that the House Oversight Committee will really drill down and get to the bottom of all this so that we can feel good about the work the FBI is doing and not bad.
All right, Congressman Francis Rooney, we certainly appreciate you being with us, and a very happy New Year to you, sir.
Brianna, thank you for having me on.